This is what it would be like to stand on Mars without a spacesuit. It's not quite as simple as just stepping off your spaceship and onto the surface of Mars. There are several things that would happen to your body if you were to do that. The most immediate thing that you would notice is the low gravity. Mars has only 38% of the Earth's gravity, so you would feel very light. In fact, you could probably jump about 6 times higher than you could on Earth. You might even be able to fly if you had wings. Just don't try this with a parachute. The thin atmosphere means that there's not much air resistance, so it would just rip right through it. Another thing that you would notice is the lack of air. You wouldn't be able to breathe on Mars, so you would need to bring your own oxygen supply. Otherwise, you would suffocate. And speaking of air, there's also the fact that you would be constantly bombarded by meteorites. The thin atmosphere doesn't do a very good job of protecting you from space rocks. In fact, one study suggests that there are around 5,000 meteorites that hit the surface of Mars every year. That's about 1 meteorite for every square kilometer. So you definitely want to bring a helmet if you plan on standing on Mars. The next thing that you would notice is the temperature. Mars is a frozen wasteland with an average surface temperature of minus 63 degrees Celsius. That's about minus 82 degrees Fahrenheit. You would need to bring a very warm coat if you plan on standing on Mars. Otherwise, you would freeze to death. The next thing that you would notice is the radiation. Mars doesn't have a global magnetic field like Earth does, which means that you would be bombarded by cosmic rays and solar winds. This would make it very dangerous to stand on Mars without a spacesuit. In fact, the radiation on Mars is so intense that it would probably kill you within a few hours. Finally, the last thing that you would notice is the sound. Mars is a very silent planet. Sound waves can't travel through the thin atmosphere, so you wouldn't be able to hear anything. It would be completely silent. So if you ever plan on standing on Mars, make sure to bring a spacesuit. Otherwise, you might not survive.